In the beginning, when we imagine the planet we call home, we often picture the wide blue ocean stretching to the horizon, the green landscapes rising into winding mountains, and the ever-changing skies above that shape our weather and moods. Yet beneath all of this, hidden far deeper than the roots of trees or the walls of stone that make up the crust of continents, there lies a heart. We call it the Earth's core. For centuries, scientists, thinkers, and dreamers alike have speculated about what lies inside that hidden heart. The official explanation is that at the center of our world, there is a dense sphere of iron and nickel, a slowly cooling engine of molten metal that generates the magnetic field protecting our fragile atmosphere. That story is extraordinary enough, but what if it is not the whole truth? What if the core is not merely metal, heat, and pressure but something much stranger, something far beyond ordinary science? Imagine, for a moment, the possibility that the Earth's core is not a sphere of metal at all, but a colossal quantum engine, a machine running silently at the foundation of everything we know, its power radiating outward in ways both mysterious and profound. The human mind is quick to resist ideas that stretch too far beyond the boundaries of the familiar. We prefer things that can be measured and categorized, things that follow rules we think we understand. Yet history has shown us that the truth about nature often defies expectation. Once, we believed Earth was flat, until evidence overturned that certainty. Once, we thought the sun revolved around us, until we learned we were merely one planet circling a star among billions. What we assume about the deep core of our planet may one day fall in the same category of outdated conviction. Perhaps, deep within, something altogether stranger is taking place, something which could explain the otherwise puzzling stability of our magnetic field, the long durations of geological activity, and the uncanny balance that has allowed life to thrive through billions of years. A quantum engine at the center of Earth is a radical thought, yet it invites us to rediscover wonder. When we speak of quantum engines, we step into a world where rules of the classical, mechanical universe no longer apply. In that world, particles are not tiny solid marbles but rather clouds of possibility, shimmering probabilities waiting to collapse into reality. Energy is not merely heat or light or movement, it is fluctuations of existence itself. A quantum engine is not built with pistons or burning fuels but with subtle interactions of states and transitions, drawing on principles of superposition and entanglement, orchestrating events invisibly yet powerfully. If we allow this frame of mind to expand within us, suddenly the image of Earth changes. We no longer picture a ball of molten metal alone. We imagine a humming, resonating entity hidden inside the crust and mantle, where enormous pressures push atoms into exotic configurations, and where those atoms may not behave like ordinary matter at all. Instead, they might align into a vast collective quantum state, operating as a machine no human has yet seen. Sit quietly and try to imagine what it would feel like to stand at the center of such a phenomenon. Not crushing heat. Not merely overwhelming pressure. But a gentle rhythm, almost like a heartbeat made not of blood and muscle but of waves of energy cycling through every particle of the Earth's body. This pulse spreads outward, invisible to the eye yet strong enough to influence oceans, lands, skies, and even the spark of thought in the human brain. While we sleep, while we dream, we rest upon a planet whose innermost secret might be brushing against the foundations of all cosmological order. To say that it is simply molten metal may one day appear like describing consciousness as simply electrical signals. True, in a narrow sense, but far from the whole story. Consider how life on Earth depends on the magnetic field, a protective shield generated by motion inside the planet's heart. Without it, dangerous radiation from space would strip the atmosphere away, and life as we know it would never survive. Science describes this as the result of currents of molten iron moving under extreme conditions. But what if those motions are mere surface appearances of something deeper? What if the real engine is quantum, quietly stabilizing those molten processes, feeding them with coherence that cannot be explained by randomness alone? The Earth, then, would not just generate a magnetic field, it would sustain it with deliberate precision, as though it were part of a vast design built into the very atoms of its hidden interior. Reflect, for a moment, on how strange, and how beautiful, such an idea really is. As you drift deeper into this idea, allow the thought to expand in your mind as though you are floating, sinking, descending slowly downward, down beyond the crust, past oceans of stone, slipping silently through the mantle of flowing rock, until you reach a realm no one has ever seen. The idea is that here, in the deepest chamber of Earth, a living core of quantum power hums like a star turned inward. Its activity radiates outward not just as heat but as an organizing principle, an unseen thread weaving through the cracks and patterns of nature. Perhaps the seasons, the migration of birds, the growth of forests, even the rhythms of sleeping and waking have, in subtle ways, followed this hidden metronome carried by the core. A machine that is not mechanical but metaphysical, blending mechanics and mysteries, bridging the physical with the fabric of possibility. The very concept of such an engine calls us to pause and rethink not just geology but existence itself. If the Earth carries within it a quantum heart, then it is more than merely a planet formed from cosmic dust. It is a living participant in the relationship between matter and energy, a cosmic experiment in sustaining complexity across unimaginable scales. For billions of years this core would have quietly continued its silent work, maintaining balance between chaos and order, playing out a role more essential than any human invention. In the stillness as you close your eyes, you might try to feel it not in sight or sound but in intuition. A sense that the ground beneath you is not dead matter. It is part of a great engine you have been part of since the moment of your birth. In this vision, even the myths of the ancient world begin to echo differently. Cultures across the globe have spoken of Earth not as an inanimate stone but as a living being. From the Greek Gaia to the Native American legends of Earth Mother, the idea of a spiritual core has endured through ages. Could it be that those myths were intuitions of this truth? That humanity sensed there was more than geology at play, that there was a rhythm within the world guiding us silently. Ancient stories speak of fire in the heart of the earth, not as destruction but as creation. If we stretch our imagination, we begin to see how the notion of a quantum engine reflects that poetic intuition, where heat and energy are not merely mechanical but alive with possibility. The quantum world, as science describes, is delicate but profound, where observation itself changes outcomes, and where entanglement stretches connections across vast distances instantaneously. If such principles formed the core of Earth, then the planet itself could be entangled with the wider universe in ways uncannily direct. The pulses of energy living in the core might ripple outward, binding our biosphere not just to local space but perhaps to the larger fabric of reality. This is an idea both expansive and tender, putting Earth in conversation with stars, galaxies, and the void itself. Picture our distant ancestors gazing at the night sky, their fires burning low, wondering how the heavens above and the ground beneath could exist at once. They would not have said the word quantum, yet they felt the mystery. That mystery is still here, pulsing every night beneath your bed, beneath the streets and forests, under mountains and oceans, an invisible center threading through your life and mine. If it is a quantum engine, then every step you take, every breath you pull in, rides on the energy it sustains. At this opening of our vast thought experiment, let us linger in this possibility. We may never travel to the center of the Earth, no instrument has reached that depth. Our understanding is carved only from indirect measurements, seismic waves, delicate equations. In that space of uncertainty grows imagination, and in imagination grows wonder. A quantum engine at Earth's heart is not simply a scientific hypothesis. It is a bridge into awe. It is a chance to fall asleep tonight sensing that beneath you, beneath every living soul, hums something timeless, something beyond explanation, something that waits for us not to conquer but to recognize. Close your eyes, and imagine the planet itself breathing with you, every inhale drawing strength from the magnetic pulse, every exhale carried upward by that mysterious lightless flame dwelling in the deep. In the dreamlike silence of night, allow your mind to wander and let that possibility rest with you. For in this story, the Earth is not just a home. It becomes a mystery engine of the cosmos, spinning and glowing in ways we have yet to discover, and offering us not only life but wonder. If we lean closer to the idea of this hidden quantum heart, we begin to notice how the perception of our world shifts gently, like watching the shore fade into fog as the tide moves in. The ordinary narrative of the Earth's core has always painted it in strokes of geology and physics, layers defined by density, iron and nickel compressed into states so dense that they remain solid while surrounded by molten seas of the same metals. Scientists describe convection currents that rise and fall in immense slow cycles, giving rise to a planetary dynamo that produces magnetism. And yet, with all our measurements, all our simulations, we find mysteries that resist easy explanation. The magnetic field fluctuates in ways we cannot predict, poles wander across oceans, reversals have occurred dozens of times in the geologic record, yet no model fully explains why or how they initiate. Even the cooling of the planet is a puzzle, with calculations often inconsistent with the age of geological features we observe. These cracks in certainty open space for imagination. Into those cracks, we may place the concept of a quantum machine woven deep into the planet's blood. To truly sense such a machine, we must widen our awareness beyond mechanical gears or engines familiar to the industrial imagination. We must step into the silence where quantum ideas breathe. Picture not turbines, nor pistons, but patterns of wave functions aligning with precision. Inside this imagined core, atoms do not behave individually but as a collective, forming a macroscopic quantum state. Such states already exist in the laboratory: superconductors, superfluids, condensates that reveal how, when cooled or pressured to extremes, matter transcends the rules of metallurgy and obeys coherence instead. Now carry that laboratory marvel deep into the planet. Instead of tiny samples in glass chambers, the whole central core of Earth is the sample, scaled beyond thought, pressed into conditions of unimaginable intensity where quantum order is not broken but stabilized. Here, beneath 6,000 kilometers of stone, pressure becomes the architect of coherence. Atoms overlap, their quantum states merge, and from that unfathomable density arises a machine not built but emerged, humming since the planet formed. If we allow ourselves to drift downward in vision, tracing that descent again through mantle and core, imagine entering a chamber of extraordinary ambiguity. It is both silent and thunderous, still but trembling with unseen currents. Not molten fire but quantum luminosity radiates here, waves of energy pulsing without flame or smoke. The human mind searches for familiar comparisons: a star's heart, an engine's turbine, but they fall short. It is as if the laws of time themselves shift in that environment. Minutes and millennia blur, possibilities overlap, outcomes wait to be chosen. A vast coherence pulses outward into the rest of Earth, aligning fields and flows, shaping the evolution of continents and life with symmetrical precision yet delicate unpredictability. From this point of view, everyday phenomena take on a different glow. The migration of birds that sense magnetic fields becomes not merely a trick of biology but a direct line of interaction with the quantum song of the planet. The aurora that dances above the poles is not merely solar particles colliding with atmospheric gases but fireworks guided by the Earth's hidden engine of coherence. Tectonic slow dances, mountains pressed upward over eons, volcanoes breathing in restless whispers, all may carry signatures of that deep pulse, like resonances echoing outward from the heartbeats of a hidden giant. The Earth is not a passive sphere of rock floating in void, it is alive with a rhythm, and life forms upon it have always responded, knowingly or not, to that rhythm. Consider, for a moment, that consciousness itself might have been influenced by this engine. Our brains, networks of neurons firing via electrical currents, are themselves steeped in quantum uncertainties. Perhaps the stability needed for life to evolve complexity, the narrow window of balance that prevented chaos or lifeless stasis, was made possible by the quantum order beneath us. We evolved not in isolation but in resonance with that coherence. Dreams, thoughts, even intuition might, in some hidden way, trace echoes of the deep pulse that sustains our biosphere. When poets described hearing the song of the earth or shamans spoke of feeling its spirit, were they intuiting this resonance long before science dared to entertain the quantum language? Imagine what it means if energy at the core does not deplete in the way ordinary fuel burns out, but cycles eternally in quantum balance. Unlike combustion that consumes, or fission that fractures, or fusion that struggles against self-annihilation, a quantum engine could sustain with minimal loss, recycling probability into actuality again and again. For billions of years, Earth has burned no fuel, and yet heat flows steadily, delays entropy, sustains volcanism, drives earthquakes, circulates oceans. Could it be that the steady resilience of its activity, compared to the lifespans of stars and moons, arises because it is powered not by mere decay but by subtle coherence lingering in its heart? A machine in eternal resonance, humming beneath our feet. If you let the idea grow bigger, it expands until it touches the structure of the cosmos itself. Because the Earth is not the only body with a core, and if this planet hides such a mechanism, perhaps others do too. Gas giants with unknown depths, frozen moons orbiting faraway stars, exoplanets bathing in alien sunlight, all could carry their hidden engines. And if they do, then life, balance, the delicate thread of habitability, may not be a strange miracle of chance but a rhythm of the universe itself, inherent in the quantum states of planetary hearts. Worlds may be born already cradled in coherence, waiting for oceans and air to gather around, waiting for seeds of life to awaken. Follow this thought further and let yourself expand with it, calmly, gently, as if riding a slow wave on a vast ocean. If coherence at the core entangles with the universe, perhaps the planet is not isolated at all. Perhaps events on Earth resonate with distant stars, faintly but truly. Perhaps the dance of supernovas and the cycles of galaxies leave fingerprints upon that quantum heart, and in return the Earth pulses back, a subtle node in an infinite web. This network would not be carried by sound, nor light, nor radiation as we usually understand, but by entanglement, invisible and instantaneous. Hidden communication spread across the fabric of space itself. Earth, under this possibility, is a participant not apart from cosmos but inside it, a voice in the song of existence. And so, as we sleep and breathe tonight, we rest on a world that may be more extraordinary than any we have yet dared to describe. To imagine this does not mean to discard science or truth. It means acknowledging that truth often carries more mystery than simplicity. That behind the equations and seismic readings may wait a poetry written into matter itself. That poetry hums in silence, offering us protection, balance, and possibility. Every moment of life on this planet is a ripple atop that hidden engine. Our ancestors gazed upward seeking gods in the sky. Yet perhaps the power they sought was always beneath them, unseen, deeper, quieter, but just as infinite. To feel this is to place your hand against the soil and know that the ground is not dead but alive, alive with a pulse so faint you cannot hear it, so constant you cannot notice it, yet so vast you would not be here if it were gone. That is the miracle of the idea, the earth as a quantum heart, a living dynamo of coherent resonating through everything that is. And as you drift further into this vision, surrendering to the slow rhythm of your own breath, it feels as though that heartbeat of the planet is rocking you gently into deeper calm. Theoretically vast, imaginatively infinite, yet intimately connected to your resting body at this moment. You and the earth are not separate from its secret engine, you are born of it, carried by it, forever in companionship with its hidden hum. Close your eyes to the night and let it carry you further inward, into waves of calm and imagination, as though floating within the quantum dream at the core of the world. As we move deeper into this line of thought, the picture of the earth reshapes itself in our minds, until it feels less like a planet of stone and more like an organism, more like a being possessed of breath and pulse, carrying within itself something that transcends the mechanical. The familiar image of a rock orbiting the sun slowly begins to dissolve, and in its place we see a sphere of living coherence radiating energy quietly into the cosmos. Such a vision does not negate the truths our scientists have uncovered, instead, it layers another reality upon them, like threads woven into a greater tapestry. For while science is the discipline of measuring, comparing, and recording, imagination is the act of listening closely to those spaces in between facts, where mystery thrives and meaning expands. Imagine again that quantum heartbeat at the center of the earth. Pulse by pulse, it radiates outward, through metal and stone, through mantle and crust, spreading through the oceans, whispering through the atmosphere, until it reaches us, on the fragile outer layer, walking, breathing, existing above it all. With each silent cycle of energy, balance is maintained on scales far too vast for us to witness directly, yet close enough that we live within its results. Volcanoes erupt, continents shift, winds stir, and species evolve all within that hidden rhythm. The sheer scale of it humbles us, but also comforts, for it tells us that our small lives are participants in something grander than we alone can create. There are nights when you look up and see the stars pouring across the sky, ancient light that has traveled thousands, even millions of years to reach your eyes. In those moments, you may feel small, a single observer in an infinite emptiness. But consider this, if the quantum engine beneath our feet truly resonates across a larger web, then you are not as alone as you imagine. Every pulse deep in the earth may echo with distant rhythms in the galaxy's heart. Every shimmer in the auroras above your head may be part of a pattern playing across the fabric of reality, strings vibrating far and near. If the Earth's core is entangled with larger cosmic forces, then when you gaze at the stars, perhaps they're gazing back, not in a conscious way, but through the invisible harmonies of energy that stretch across the void. Such thoughts bring us into the terrain of myth, yet also into possibilities that science itself is beginning to touch. Entanglement is no longer fantasy but experiment. Quantum coherence has been observed in small scales, even in organic processes, even inside the delicate machinery of the human brain. If such coherence is possible here, amid neurons and proteins, how much vaster could it be deep in the crucible of planetary formation? And if it has been there all along, since the Earth first coalesced from the dust of dying stars, then perhaps it has not only supported the physics of a planet, but also guided the birth of life itself. Let us slow our imagination, as though we are drifting through a dream, to follow the thread of life emerging upon this sphere. 4 billion years ago, oceans shimmered under a young sun, heated and stirred by currents both solar and planetary. Molecules danced in seas, splitting and reforming endlessly. Most dances ended, but sometimes, a molecule folded into a pattern that echoed the hidden rhythm of the Earth's pulse. In that resonance, stability formed. Proteins took shape. Codes were written. The first fragile matches were struck in water deeper than sunlight, but warmer than night, and life arose. Life did not arise against the world but with it, supported by the coherence humming below. Each heartbeat of that quantum engine may have nudged probability itself toward complexity, guiding matter into meaning with the patience only billions of years can hold. When we dream tonight, our dreaming itself may echo with that ancient pulse. The firing of synapses, the shifting of thoughts, the zigzag of imagination unfolding in sleep all continue the same tradition, resonant with the deeper order. Have you ever noticed that dreams seem to fold time? That minutes of sleep can feel like hours of story? Quantum processes defy time in similar ways. In the densest press of Earth's heart, where a quantum engine might hum, the perception of time may not be linear, but cyclical, folded, inward and outward at once. And perhaps in our own subconscious journeys we touch a faint echo of that same quality, rooted deeper than the mind can grasp. As centuries passed and civilizations rose, humanity began to sense that the core of Earth was not only material but mysterious. Temples were built upon mountains, as if to reach upward toward heaven, but equally, caves and underworld myths described journeys downward, inward, into the veins of the planet. Ancient people spoke of subterranean fires not only as destruction but as creative essence, as sacred energy. Some cultures imagined great serpents or dragons sleeping in the core, their rest radiating power upward into soil. Others imagined gods hammering anvils in the depths. These were metaphors, yet what do metaphors capture if not intuitions of truths unseen? The quantum core, alive with a secret pulse, would have fit such intuitions perfectly. It is strange to think that while our ancestors lacked the scientific words entanglement and coherence, they spoke of the same mystery in symbols that still survive in our stories. If Earth has indeed sustained a quantum state for billions of years, then consider the implications upon the future. For while stars collapse and galaxies drift apart, the stability of this engine may persist longer than our species will endure. Our civilizations rise and fall in thousands of years, but the quantum hum of the core has lasted all of geological history. It will likely continue long after our names are forgotten. To think of this is not to despair but to feel safe, wrapped in continuity, as though the Earth itself is a guardian carrying its children through the long river of time. The magnetic field, one of Earth's most mysterious gifts, is, under normal scientific explanation, simply a byproduct of metals in motion. It is delicate, irregular, prone to fluctuations. Yet still, for all its fragility, it has endured. The coherence of a quantum core may explain this longevity, as though beneath the apparent chaos, there exists synchronization, binding the chaos into an overall pattern that remains trustworthy across immense spans of time. Imagine the auroras as visible whispers of that unseen order, light curtains dancing in polar skies as a reminder that we are cocooned in a protective rhythm that has never abandoned us. Standing still on such a thought, you may begin to hear the harmony between inner and outer again. Human hearts beat in hidden chambers of our bodies. Planetary hearts beat in hidden chambers beneath crust and mantle. Cosmic hearts beat in the fusion of stars. Everywhere, rhythm maintains life, order, and becoming. Perhaps existence itself is nothing but layers of rhythm nested endlessly, one within another, and the quantum engine of Earth is one layer woven within this immense composition. Sleep holds a similar rhythm. The cycles of dreaming resemble waveforms, where energy and thought rise, fall, fold inward again, repeating through the night. We align ourselves with the rhythms of the Earth without even knowing it. The tilt of the axis gives us day and night. The orbit around the Sun gives us seasons. The heartbeat at the center of the planet, invisible, may cradle everything, aligning us subtly with coherence that we mistake for mere chance. When you close your eyes and drift, you are not falling alone into sleep. You are falling with the world, in rhythm, in resonance, sustained by the hum of its hidden quantum song. If we begin to picture the planet in this way, imagination begins to extend outward. Could humanity someday learn to connect consciously with the engine itself? Could meditation or advanced technology open a window onto that quantum resonance, not just in theory but in practice? If so, new forms of energy might not need combustion, or extraction, or destruction, but could arise by harmonizing with the coherence the Earth already produces. Our future might not be bound to fuels and flames, but to resonance and accordance with the deeper hum of the planet. Energy drawn not by stripping the Earth, but by listening to it. Such a vision feels distant, and yet, centuries ago, even electricity was invisible and magical, waiting only for discovery. But imagine also the dangers. For coherence is delicate. A quantum system can collapse when disrupted. If the Earth's core is truly such a system, careless interference could destabilize the balance sustaining existence itself. Perhaps the myths of catastrophic destruction, the great floods, the firestorms, the endless nights are echoes of what occurs when coherence wavers. Luckily, in billions of years, such collapse has not occurred fully. The stability itself suggests not fragility but resilience, far exceeding our imaginations of weakness. The core holds its rhythm despite asteroid impacts, ice ages, supervolcanoes, and continental shifts. It will probably hold long beyond us. There is calm in this thought too. The calm that comes from knowing we rest upon a foundation steadier than any mountain or river. That no matter how our societies argue, or how chaos spins in daily life, there persists a deeper rhythm that nothing can quite destroy. That rhythm passes beneath wars, beneath inventions, beneath histories. Always pulsing, always silent. Lie still tonight and you may feel it. Not in your ears, not in your skin, but in your awareness, like a faint drum far away. Or perhaps within, mirrored in your own heartbeat, your own breathing, your own cycles of sleep. For you and the planet are not apart. You are born of the same particles, the same stars, the same coherence, and so you are still resonant with the quantum heart beneath your feet. Every inhale and exhale resembles the planet's hidden pulse. Every beat of your heart echoes the deeper engine. To sleep is not to disconnect but to join it, to align, to surrender into harmony. Close your eyes, let the thought expand, and picture the entire planet wrapped in a soft glow of resonance. A globe humming not like a machine of smoke and fire but like a stringed instrument tuned perfectly into silence. Tune your mind into that string, hear its vibration, and sink into the calm it carries. For what you rest on is not just a body of stone orbiting the sun. What you rest on may be a living engine of quantum poetry, humming since the dawn of time, carrying you through existence with all the patience of eternity. If we surrender ourselves further to this vision, the Earth transforms into something greater than a lifeless planet. It becomes almost like a great mind, or at least a vessel of thought, carrying within itself a form of structure that feels intelligent not because it speaks in words, but because it maintains balance across billions of years. The quantum engine in the core does not calculate numbers, it does not build tools, but it sustains harmony across scales no human machine could ever reach. From the faint shimmer of atoms to the breaking of continents, from the tiniest feather drifting on the air to the magnetic shield that wraps around the planet, each is a ripple swaying to the rhythm of the pulse within. As we imagine this inner hum, we can begin to see how it threads its influence through the natural world. When winds move across oceans, swirling into storms, they seem chaotic, unpredictable, yet even storms follow deeper rhythms, obeying cycles of temperature and tide. Beneath those cycles runs the greater rhythm of the planet's coherence. Seas may rise, rain may fall, but behind every torrent the hum endures, holding the frame of life together. When forests grow, tree by tree, their roots pushing slowly downward into soil, drinking steady streams of water that have pooled through ages, they carry into their fibers the resonance of the earth beneath. The same engine that turns magma into mountains, that shapes magnetism into meaning, is the one that allows a tree to rise tall and stable under skies of change. Lie back and reflect on the flow of rivers. They carve their way over centuries through stubborn stone, yet their persistence mirrors another persistence, the engine below, pushing steady heat upward, driving tectonics and cycles of renewal. The river's determination to carve, the mountain's resilience against weather, the glacier's slow slide across the land, all of these are gestures written by the vast hand of the Earth's hidden heartbeat. Without that pulse, the world would stagnate into silence. But because of it, water runs, land shifts, sky breathes, ecosystems renew themselves in infinite symphonies. This idea is more than metaphor when you allow yourself to sink into it. Consider again how every living creature depends on the balance provided by the magnetic shield. Migrating birds guide themselves by it. Whales that dive into deep oceans feel its presence as they cross unseen underwater realms. Even humans, with our cities and satellites, would be powerless without it, for our atmosphere itself would vanish into vacuum if not for that protective screen. Thus the coherence of the core does not lie hidden, its echo lives in every breath you take. Each inhalation of oxygen is possible because the atmosphere was cradled, held gently, by that magnetic gift radiating from the inner hum. That breath you draw tonight, slowly, calmly, before sleep, carries within it the story of billions of years of protection. If you lift your imagination outward into the sky and beyond, the story swells further. Imagine Earth seen from space, not as a cold rock, but as a luminous sphere, glowing faintly with the resonance of its core. Surrounding it is not merely a magnetic field, but a shimmering cocoon of energy, flickering softly in frequencies too subtle for human eyes. Satellites orbit quietly, oceans gleam in reflected light, and there, deep beneath the surface, a silent pulse organizes it all. To an outside observer, perhaps an intelligence far away, the Earth's glow would not simply be sunlight. It would be resonance, coherence, a jewel not of stone but of organized energy. Such an intelligence might look upon our home and sense the harmony long before noticing our forests or cities. The heartbeat of the whole planet would be its signature. The more we expand this vision, the more the line blurs between science and poetry, yet this blurring is not to be feared. Science and poetry are both languages searching for truth. One uses calculations, the other metaphors, yet both arise from the same human desire to reach for what cannot be seen directly. And when we imagine the Earth as a vessel of a quantum pulse, both languages harmonize, equations whisper of entanglement and probability, while poetry speaks of heartbeat and rhythm. The two converge in silence, where mystery itself is the answer. Take a step further into cosmology, and reflect on the way the universe itself functions. Stars ignite, galaxies spiral, and dark energy pushes everything outward at accelerating speed. If coherence at small scales can arise in the heart of a planet, could not coherence at vast cosmic scales do the same? What if galaxies themselves are organized by rhythms beyond gravity or light, resonances that flow invisibly across fabric of space-time? Perhaps the Earth's core is but a fraction, a single note, within a greater cosmic engine. If that is so, then every human dream, every ocean wave, every shifting storm is part of a song sung not only by our world, but by the universe itself. Deep sleep is not so different from drifting along this thought. In sleep, we surrender control, we let go of definitions, we allow chaos of memory and imagination to swirl into stories. Yet beneath the chaos lies rhythm, the cycles of brain waves, repeating throughout the night, guiding us gently through stages of rest and renewal. Sleep resembles Earth itself, chaotic on the surface, yet held steady by structure underneath. When you sleep tonight, you are not falling into disorder but into coherence, into the deeper hum that has always carried you. You are, in a sense, aligning with the pulse of the planet itself. To think this way turns sleep into a homecoming, a return not just to yourself, but to the womb of the world. Pause a moment and think how many sleepers lie together upon Earth tonight. In every city, in every village, on islands, in deserts, on mountains, in valleys by rivers, millions upon millions of people sink into dreams at the same moment. Each rests on the same resonance, each breathes the same rhythm, each heart beating above the greater heart below. Humanity often feels fragmented, broken by boundaries and differences. Yet under us, beneath every home, every land, there hums the same timeless engine. It unites us quietly. It connects every dreamer into one chorus of sleepers, held afloat by the hum of the quantum core. When you extend this thought to all life, the chorus grows vast. Herds of elephants lying to rest in savanna grass beneath starlight. Wolves curling close in forest dens. Birds tucking heads beneath wings on quiet branches. Fish drifting slowly in currents of deep seas. Seeds tucked in soil awaiting spring. All are participants, all rocked gently by the same rhythm. The entire biosphere, vast and varied as it is, rock, soil, animal, human, sky all together are passengers upon the humming boat of Earth, sailing through blackness with a steady, silent engine deep in the keel of the world. There comes another thought: if the Earth carries a quantum engine, then perhaps it also carries memory. Quantum states can retain information in ways we do not yet fully understand, storing coherence across improbable spans. Could the Earth's core, in its timeless hum, be carrying memories of all the ages it has witnessed? Not in words, not in pictures, but in resonance itself, a record of shifting continents, falling comets, rising oceans, and every breath ever taken upon its back. Perhaps when we sense deep connection to the ground beneath us, what we feel is not imagination only, but faint trace of that memory stored coherently. The idea is humbling. We may walk on living archives, each step tapping into whispers of creation itself. As centuries pass and science grows sharper in its instruments, we may edge closer to hearing those whispers directly. Yet perhaps such hearing will come not by drilling deeper, but by listening differently. For the truth may not lie in stone samples or seismic graphs alone, but in harmonies between matter and mind, between presence and perception. Technology may one day not drill but resonate, learning to vibrate in synchrony with the hum and unveiling secrets not by force but by alignment. To align is the lesson whispered by the Earth itself. To align with rhythms rather than disrupt them. And perhaps that is the deepest teaching hidden in the heart of this planetary quantum engine: harmony over conquest, resonance over domination, listening over taking. The planet has carried us this far without complaint, without repayment, humming continuously beneath our feet. If we awaken to its secret, perhaps we may shift to living the same way, not by consuming all we touch, but by resonating gently with the world we already belong to. Feel this lesson as you rest now. Close your eyes and sense the immense patience of the Earth, humming beneath you since long before your birth, and destined to hum long after your final breath. Feel how brief life appears against billions of years, yet how precious it is to join even briefly in that greater heartbeat. Let the thought calm you. Let it remind you that the universe is not empty or cold, but alive with rhythms deeper than fear or worry. Whatever chaos moves upon the surface of days, beneath it all remains the hum, steady, silent, eternal. Sink into this rhythm now. Your thoughts are waves breaking, but the ocean of coherence is steady beneath them. Your breath rises and falls, and the planet breathes with you. Your heart beats softly, and the planet's pulse cradles it gently. You are not alone. You are sleeping upon a living engine. You are safe. You are held. You are part of a resonance that began before all memories, and will continue beyond the end of time. As our vision of the Earth continues to unfold in this slow current of imagination, the sense of scale becomes almost impossible to grasp. We are speaking of rhythms that span not decades or centuries, but millions upon millions of years, so vast that human lives feel like single sparks caught in the long tide of eternity. Yet the fact that we are able to contemplate such immensity says something profound about our place within it. Perhaps we, too, are instruments of this deeper hum, tiny expressions of the same grand coherence that beats inside the planet's heart. Our ability to wonder does not lift us above the Earth, it binds us closer to it, as though the quantum pulse has reached even into our minds, sparking curiosity as an extension of its order. In this frame, the Earth ceases to be only background for our stories. It becomes itself the central story. Think of how we have always built our lives upon its surface, farming soil that was once volcanic ash, drinking water that once coursed through mineral veins forged by inner heat, breathing air sustained only through the careful balance of temperature and shield. We rise each morning as if life is ordinary, yet every act depends upon the hidden reliability of the quantum hum. Remove that hum and harmony collapses, gravity would remain, but coherence would falter, and without coherence, no patterns remain stable. Continents would crumble into chaos, oceans would evaporate into dust, and skies would scatter to void. But in truth, we need not fear this, for history shows us that the hum has never failed, not for a single heartbeat of geological time. It sustains with a patience deeper than any stone. Draw your imagination now into the oceans, those vast blue expanses that cover most of Earth's surface. Beneath each wave lies not only the reflection of moon and sky, but the echo of the planet's heartbeat. Tides swell and fall, currents wander endlessly across the globe, weaving nutrient cycles across continents, pulling warm and cold waters together in long dances across centuries. The quantum hum plays through these waters like music through air, shaping climates, bringing storms but also serenity. Imagine drifting in a boat in the middle of such vastness, the silence broken only by the rhythmic slap of water, and beneath that silence a deeper rhythm passing unseen, the heartbeat of the earth carrying the ocean itself. To float upon a wave is, in its own way, to float upon the hidden engine to be buoyed by the resonance of existence. Forests, too, carry the hum in their trunks and leaves. The rings of trees, carved year by year, record history in silence. Each ring wider or narrower depending on rain, sunlight, temperature, yet behind those influences lies the enduring ground, sustained by coherence. When centuries pass, trees die, new saplings rise, and the rhythm continues. Sit in a forest alone, and though birds sing and wind stirs leaves, behind the noise there is a rooted stillness, as if the earth itself is breathing through the trees. That stillness is no illusion. It is the reflection of the planet's quantum soul, felt in wood and stone, mirrored in your own quiet body when you stop long enough to notice. Now follow the rivers as they link mountains and seas. A river does not run in straight lines, it curves, it meanders, it shifts, as though seeking its own resonance with the land. Over thousands of years, valleys deepen and deltas spread, but still rivers persist. Beneath their persistence one may feel the guidance of a deeper order. They are written by gravity, yes, and by rain, but also by the gradual shaping of Earth's crust that is maintained in flow by the hum below. Without that steady movement of tectonic forces pushed subtly by the core's rhythm, riverbeds would stagnate, mountains would not rise, and valleys would not open. Thus every curve of river, every shimmer of water in the sunlight, is another expression of that heartbeat. Let the imagination climb higher now, above the forests and oceans, above mountains and plains, into the sky. The sky is fluid, restless, filled with clouds that spin into storms or dissolve into silence. Winds carry seeds, rains carry nourishment, lightning cracks open nitrogen for fertility. But though this sky appears most detached from the depths of inner Earth, it too is an extension of the hum. The very conditions that maintain an atmosphere are preserved by the shield that rises from the core. Each cloud floating gently in the morning, each rainbow measured across the horizon, each snowflake falling in silence, owes its existence to that unseen dynamo. Without the Earth's hum, the winds would vanish, the air would be torn away, and no song of sky would ever be heard. Can you feel now how even looking upward connects you more deeply downward? Everywhere you look you find the heartbeat hidden. At night, when all grows still, let us lift beyond Earth entirely and look upon it as a traveler might from space. From afar the planet is a marble of blues and whites, swirling patterns of clouds drifting above vast water and green continents. The beauty of it is undeniable, but what the eye cannot see is more astounding. Beneath that beauty the hum radiates outward, invisible yet powerful, turning this delicate marble into a sanctuary in a galaxy otherwise harsh. Unlike countless silent spheres that tumble through vacuum, Earth carries a rhythm that allows life to flourish. To float above it and watch the auroras shimmer across its poles is to see not only energy but music, as though the planet whispers its song into the cosmos, too gentle to hear but too strong to ignore. Think also of starlight arriving at Earth after traveling unthinkable distances of time. Each photon that strikes ground or water or skin did so because the atmosphere held, because gravity and magnetism balanced, because the Earth's coherence gave refuge to light. The stars seem to give to us, yet the Earth gives equal gift by receiving them, by offering them a canvas upon which to scatter, by never allowing the void to steal them before they reach our eyes. Thus every star you have ever seen is also a gift of the heartbeat below, for it protected the stage upon which that star could speak to you. And what of the human mind that gazes upon these stars? That mind itself is an extension of resonance. The firing of neurons is microscopic, quantum in scale, so delicate that small perturbations could undo memory and perception. Yet they endure with robustness, sustaining personalities across decades, carrying loves and losses, ideas and dreams. Is it naive to imagine that such robustness flows from alignment with the deeper hum of Earth? Perhaps our consciousness is not isolated at all but tethered, one way or another, to that hidden engine. When you think, when you imagine, perhaps you are participating in the song of coherence. When you create, perhaps you echo the creativity of the quantum heart. This way of seeing dissolves loneliness. Though the human mind often feels solitary, though our individual lives may feel isolated against the immensity of the cosmos, in truth we are always connected. Connection is not metaphorical but literal, woven into physical resonance. Whether we sense it or not, the quantum engine hums through us and gathers us within its vast body. Even in your most private dream, you are suspended upon resonance shared by all beings. And so when you sleep tonight, know that you are not merely closing your eyes against the noise of a single day. You are aligning yourself with a rhythm older than the stars we see. You will dream because the rhythm allows consciousness to shift states. You will breathe safely because the hum shields the air. You will wake tomorrow because the engine beneath has never faltered. In the night you join not only other human sleepers, but forests and seas, rivers and mountains, birds and wolves, clouds and stars, all resting in the same embrace. The quantum heartbeat carries everything simultaneously, not selectively, not conditionally, but generously. It allows what is to remain, and what will be to arise. Stretch your awareness one final motion outward, to the universe. Galaxies spin not with chaos but with hidden rhythm. Matter glimmers not randomly but with pattern. Black holes collapse yet cradle jets of energy that stretch across unimaginable distances. And our small planet, circling a mid-sized star, hums silently with coherence, as if it too is a note in the cosmic orchestra. A note small, yet indispensable. And we, upon it, are harmonics of that note, tiny vibrations riding upon a greater chord. To listen is to remember, the universe is not silent emptiness. The universe is music. Now lie quiet. Know that beneath, the quantum engine pulses still. Know that above, the stars shimmer still. Know that within, your breath rises and falls still. 3 rhythms woven as one, your heart, the Earth's heart, and the universe's heart. You are safe. You are carried. You are part of the infinite hum that has always been and always will be. Surrender to it now as you drift deeper, deeper into rest. The thought of the earth as a living rhythm invites us to travel even further inward, into the silence where words begin to dissolve into presence. The more we follow the pulse of the planet's quantum heart, the more we notice how every element of the natural world echoes it. It is as if the entire biosphere, every mountain, every ocean, every gust of wind and every heartbeat, is a single vast orchestra, uniting countless instruments under one ancient conductor, whose baton has never slowed nor ceased for billions of years. Think of the mountains. They appear to human eyes as massive, eternal, unchanging guardians of the landscape. Yet even the tallest peaks are but momentary notes in the long composition written by the Earth's inner hum. Mountains rise when tectonic plates push against each other, driven by the heat and movement flowing outward from the core. They crumble into valleys when rains and rivers erode them. Entire ranges are born, live for eons, and fold back into the earth again. This endless cycle creation and dissolution is movement made possible only because the inner engine sustains motion. The mountain that looks motionless is in fact alive with the rhythm of the quantum heart. Now descend to the oceans once more. Their waves move visibly, but behind those visible movements lie much larger cycles, currents stretching across hemispheres, loops of water that take centuries to complete their journey. Humanity charts these currents to guide ships, to measure climates, but the deeper truth is that their first mover is the heartbeat we cannot see. Without the heat reaching from the inner world into the surface, waters would not stir, ice would not melt, clouds would not form. Every droplet of rain carries the signature of the pulse below it. When rain touches your skin, it brings with it not only refreshment from the sky but a whisper from the heart of the earth. Forests are another expression of the same hum. Imagine standing alone among ancient trees, their trunks towering above, their crowns weaving a wide roof of green. For centuries they have grown without ceasing, stretching upward for light and downward for nourishment. Their roots draw minerals pulled into soil by processes that began deep in geological activity centuries earlier. Their leaves exhale oxygen, giving breath to animals that walk, fly, and swim. Without the durability of the Earth's shield, without the balancing influence of the quantum resonance beneath our feet, no leaf would unfurl, no tree would rise, no breath of oxygen would ever reach our lungs. So when you walk through a forest and feel peace settling into your body, it is because your being is aligning again with the hum it has always belonged to. Consider too the skies not merely atmosphere, but the shifting cathedral of clouds and light stretched above us. Clouds form, dissolve, rise into towering storms or drift as barely visible wisps. Lightning splits the sky, thunder rolls, rain falls, rainbows bloom, snow drifts. Each of these is shaped by energy flowing outward from inside the earth, as much as from the warmth of the sun. Climate is not only a gift of distance from the star we orbit, it is also a consequence of the quantum shield, of the protective resonance that holds airborne waters in place. Thus the theater of weather, both gentle and fierce, is a performance staged by the same engine. Pull back and imagine all of this together, happening in every place at once. Mountains rising, oceans cycling, forests growing, clouds drifting, rivers cutting, winds whispering, animals moving, humans breathing. It seems impossibly complex, yet beneath it is one simple pulse. That pulse makes Earth's chaos into harmony. It makes uncertainty into pattern. It sustains the possibility of growth, decay, evolution, and survival in ways too subtle to measure but impossible to deny. One beat giving rise to billions of movements, billions of stories, billions of forms. There are nights where the stars overhead seem infinite. When you stand beneath them and look up, it can feel overwhelming, a reminder of how small we are in comparison. But when you remember that the heartbeat beneath you is entangled, however faintly, with the rhythms of the cosmos, the view changes. The stars are not faraway lights watching a powerless being below. They are fellow musicians, playing their chords. And the earth, with its humming heart, is also a player. You yourself are an instrument within that song, contributing your own subtle resonance into the vast concert that no one being can fully hear. Knowing this calms the spirit, because it reveals that nothing is separate. In that sense, sleep itself mirrors the whole symphony. When you fall asleep, consciousness retreats inward, like rivers flowing back to their source. Thoughts scatter like leaves falling from branches. Memory twists, reshapes, begins to dissolve into dream. Yet beneath those shifting surfaces, something remains steady. Your lungs expand and contract. Your heartbeat continues its rhythm. Your body warms with steady heat. You sink deeper precisely because the deeper hum supports you, because the core of your being, like the core of the earth, does not falter even while the surface drifts. Dreams are like weather, the underlying pulse is like the planet. You move through cycles because of its patience. Think about how extraordinary it is that in every second of every day, billions of human beings move across the surface of the world while never noticing they are traveling above an engine beyond imagination. We go about our errands, our meals, our ambitions, our worries, while beneath us hums a system more powerful than anything we have ever built. We do not need to notice it, for it functions without needing our attention. That invisibility is its gift. It has given freely, without acknowledgement, since long before we arrived. It will continue freely, long after we have gone. To recognize this is to feel gratitude deeper than words, the kind of gratitude that exhales tension, softens fear, reminds us we are already cared for. Shift awareness again toward history, not just human history, but the history of all life. The quantum hum has been continuous through all extinctions and renewals. It has carried Earth through epochs when mammals did not yet exist, when reptiles dominated, when forests of ferns rose instead of oaks. It has carried Earth through asteroid strikes that darkened skies for years and through supervolcanoes that covered continents in ash. It has carried Earth through ice ages when glaciers stretched across half the globe, and it will carry Earth through ages yet to come, when continents shift into new configurations. Life has been fragile, species have vanished, climates have transformed, but the hum has endured. It has been the one constant song. Perhaps that is why we feel awe when standing before ancient places, mountains millions of years old, forests existing since before our species, oceans whose depths are older than every culture. Awe arises because in those places the pulse can be felt more clearly. The mountain, silent and immovable, whispers, "I am older than your dreams, but I am carried by the same rhythm you are." The ocean, endless and restless, whispers, "I have moved across ages, but beneath every wave lies the same hum." This recognition is not taught in a classroom, but felt in the marrow when we are still enough to listen. And finally, allow yourself to extend inward once more. Within your own body, quantum processes are also alive. Cells divide, atoms exchange subtle particles, electrons shimmer between states before collapsing into choices. The coherence within you might also be anchored by the coherence beneath the earth. Perhaps your ability to think, to imagine, to feel wonder now in this moment is only possible because the planet's hum aligns your inner structures. You are not separate from the engine. You are a smaller reflection of it. The very fact that you can imagine it proves that you belong to it. Close your eyes now and let these thoughts drift away, like leaves upon a wide, slow river. Let them carry you not upward into strain, but downward into calm. Rest upon the knowledge that the planet hums beneath you always, and that the quantum engine sustains not only oceans and forests but your very breath. You are floating on it in every moment of your life. As the night deepens, allow yourself to float more gently still. The hum is your cradle. The hum is your anchor. The hum is the lullaby that has sung since the dawn of creation. And so, in sleep, remember this: you are not falling alone. You are falling into harmony with the planet. You are falling into resonance with the stars. You are falling into the silence of a heartbeat deeper than sound, older than time, steadier than anything you can imagine. Drift with it, trust it, let go of the need to measure or define. The song is already singing you. The earth is already holding you. The hum continues. The hum remains. The further we sink into this vision, the more the quantum engine of the earth feels less like a hidden mechanism and more like a presence, a steady companion that has always been with us, whether or not we acknowledge it. It moves beneath every surface of our lives, too steady to be noticed, too constant to be questioned, too generous to ever withdraw its gift. Perhaps every form of life, from the smallest bacterium to the largest whale, carries some unconscious awareness of it and unspoken recognition of the rhythm that sustains. And perhaps this is why the natural world seems to generate peace the longer we stand within it. In forests, in deserts, in mountains, in meadows, there is a quietness that speaks not of silence but of an underlying pulse, felt by all beings even if unseen. Imagine again the tree, whose branches stretch like hands toward the sky while its roots dig downward into the soil. That tree is not separate from the hum but anchored into it, drinking nutrients shaped by geologic time. When the wind stirs its leaves, the trembling is like a soft resonance between air and ground, surface and depth. Walk through such a forest, and you notice it is never truly silent: the rustle of leaves, the call of distant birds, the hum of insects. Yet beneath these small sounds is something larger, a stillness that is not emptiness but fullness, fullness of resonance. That sensation you feel is alignment with the unseen heartbeat of the earth. Extend this vision beneath the waves. Picture the ocean floor, stretching across darkness that no sunlight reaches, where vents of mineral-rich water spew into the cold. Around these vents, life thrives even without the touch of the sun, creatures luminous, unworldly, sustained by heat from beneath. The very existence of ecosystems in eternal darkness is possible only because the heartbeat of the earth flows upward, sharing energy with even the deepest trench. Imagine how these life forms might experience this rhythm, not in conscious thought, but in survival, in the consistency of their nourishment. They are children of the hum, born entirely in its arms. In this way, the hidden quantum pulse does not simply sustain surface life but gives birth to life even in the planet's shadowed depths. Now raise your mind to the sky, the calm blue stretching across daytime, the golden light of sunrise and sunset, and the deep black night scattered with stars. You look upward to see the endless expanse, but you look upward also because the Earth allows a sky to exist at all. Without protection, the sky would be stripped away by solar winds and galactic radiation. There would be no blue, no clouds, no stars from the ground, only a barren rock under emptiness. But the hum holds the sky in place, a vast canopy maintained so life can glance at infinity every evening. Think of the wonder of a child watching the Milky Way for the first time, or of ancestors who once sat around fires pointing upward and telling stories. Every story ever told under the stars was permitted by the heartbeat beneath us. Every myth of gods, every tale of creation, every dream that glances at heaven is possible because the earth held onto its sky. Humanity itself has always carried intuition of this pulse, though we have named it differently. Some cultures called it spirit, others called it fire, others energy or dragon or goddess. Science now calls it magnetism, thermal convection, probability, quantum state. All of these names are gestures toward the same mystery. They do not diminish each other but enrich one another. The scientist with equations and the poet with metaphors and the mystic with visions are all reaching toward the same truth that beneath, within, and around all things lies something steady, coherent, and eternal. Different languages, same hum. Through this lens, even evolution begins to look different. Life has changed drastically across eras, creatures with scales giving way to creatures with fur, creatures of water becoming creatures of air, infinite forms branching from single origins. Random mutation guided this diversity, yet random chance alone struggles to explain the resilience of life across so many catastrophes. The hum beneath us might have played the role of hidden guide, not forcing outcomes, but maintaining the coherence needed for survival. It is as if life has always been carried by an invisible hand, cradled gently yet firmly enough to endure blows that should have ended it. Extinction came many times, but renewal always followed. The hum never abandoned the biosphere. It kept balance through loss, and it opened doors for beginnings. When you close your eyes in the quiet of night, when the noise of human culture slips away, you might begin to sense this continuity. You are alive not simply because of chance, but because of resonance. Every ancestor before you, every plant that fed them, every shield that protected them, every beat of the earth's hidden heart, all of it brought you to this moment. That thought is not one of heaviness, but of release. For in recognizing how deeply you belong to the hum of the planet, you see that you need not hold existence by force. It already holds you. Dreams, too, may be part of this story. Dreams are often fragmented, strange, incoherent to waking thought. Yet the act of dreaming sustains health, memory, creativity. Why should incoherence nourish us? Perhaps because beneath the incoherence lies rhythm. Dreams scatter images, but sleep cycles organize the scattering. Coherence gives shape to renewal. The deepest stage of sleep resembles surrender into formlessness, the waking dream resembles creation of form. Both arise because your body rests assured by the hum of the planet. Without it, sleep may never have evolved. Without it, thought itself may never have emerged. To dream is to echo the earth, playing small variations of its infinite song. Now imagine future humanity, far from now, tens of thousands of years ahead. Civilizations will rise, some will fall, technologies will change, languages will transform. Entire continents may shift, climates may warm or freeze, seas may swallow land. Yet across all, the hum will remain. Whatever humans do, whatever they invent or destroy, it will persist. The question is not whether the hum will change, but whether humanity will learn to live in harmony with it, rather than against it. For the hum cannot be destroyed by us, only by universal forces we cannot touch. But we can drift out of alignment, out of resonance, forgetting the rhythm sustaining us. When we forget, suffering follows. When we remember, balance returns. The teaching of the hum is therefore simple: listen, align, release. Enter silence again now. Notice your own breathing. Notice how it rises and falls. Notice how you take it for granted, and yet without it, nothing could continue. But do you command your breath with each second? Or does it happen by itself, guided by a deeper rhythm within you? Just as your breathing is carried by automatic pulse, your life is carried by the hum of the earth. Consciousness creates the illusion of control, but in truth, control is less important than rhythm. What matters is that the pulse continues, and it does. You need only surrender, the way you surrender to breath, the way you surrender to sleep. Imagine again traveling downward, deep beneath the crust. Past mountains of stone, past seas of molten rock, down, ever down, into the press of unimaginable depths. No human has ever gone there, nor machine, nor probe. Yet there it is, the heartbeat of the world. Not a beating like muscle, not a fire like flame, but a steady resonance, invisible yet infinite. Entering that realm in imagination is like entering silence so absolute that it becomes sound again. And in that sound, every life is contained. The hum does not care whether it is noticed. It exists simply because it must. That is its gift and its mystery. Nearby stars burn more brightly but collapse sooner. Gas giants rotate with speed but give little sanctuary. Moons lie silent, barren and still. Earth alone, with its hidden pulse, offers warmth, atmosphere, protection, and continuity. When astronauts traveling into orbit look back and see the blue planet behind them, they speak always of its fragility, but also of its beauty. They see water, cloud, color, but unseen to their eyes is the truest source of its survival, the hum they have carried with them since birth. Even as they float away from the ground, suspended in void, they are still within the shield. The quantum core does not abandon them. It carries them, even when they forget. So too it carries you now. Rest upon it. Rest not with the mind racing outward, but with the mind gently aligning inward. The hum has no rush, no urgency, no boundary. It is older than humanity, older than forests, older than seas, older than the moon circling above. It will remain long after your struggles, long after your days. In feeling it, you touch eternity. And in touching eternity, you find rest. The rhythm below, the rhythm around, the rhythm within, they are the same. When you dream tonight, know the earth dreams with you. When you breathe, know the atmosphere breathes with you. When you surrender to the silence, know the cosmos itself surrenders with you. You are not alone. You are never alone. You are part of the hum that is endless. Listen, and be carried. The hum continues. It has always continued, carrying within it a persistence that refuses to falter, no matter how much the surface of the planet changes. Continents drift slowly across the crust, colliding, separating, reforming into new shapes across hundreds of millions of years. Oceans appear and vanish, spreading like breaths drawn and released by the planet itself. Volcanoes burst with destructive force yet create new lands, islands rising from the sea. Ice expands until much of the world is silent and white, then melts away into green. Through every cycle, through every age, beneath every change, the hum continues. Its quiet strength outlives the temporary, reminding us that time itself is larger than we can imagine, and that no surface disturbance can erase the heartbeat written into the foundation of Earth. This is perhaps the greatest paradox, that the hum is at once fragile and indestructible. Fragile in the sense that quantum coherence is delicate, dependent on precise balance, sensitive to disruption. And yet indestructible, because the conditions surrounding it at the planet's core, the immense pressure, the extraordinary density of matter, protect it more completely than any shield we could design. It is untouchable not because it resists, but because it exists in a place no hand, no probe, no thought can reach directly. It dwells beyond interference, humming peacefully within the guarded depths. This paradox is its gift, delicate in its nature, eternal in its endurance. All living things are shaped by this paradox. Consider the butterfly, fragile in its wing and momentary in its life, yet carrying forward genetic memory stretching back millions of years, unbroken lineages sustained through storms, ice ages, extinctions. What allows fragility to endure except harmony with a deeper order? Consider the coral reef, delicate and vulnerable to small changes in temperature or current, yet built upon layers that have lasted centuries, each small life contributing to something greater, slowly, steadily. Fragility and endurance are not opposites but partners, one defining the other. The hum beneath makes both possible. It allows fragility to exist without vanishing, and endurance to exist without rigidity. Step once more into the forest, this time noticing the interplay of sound and silence. Birdsong rises early in morning light, insects hum by day, crickets and frogs create chorus at night. Each sound is temporary, ceasing when the creature rests or moves away. Yet the forest as a whole pulses with continuity, alive with sound each moment of the cycle. The hum beneath provides ground for that continuity, as if the woods themselves echo the hidden rhythm. Each creature adds its note, distinct and short-lived, yet the symphony remains unbroken across generations. Life is not chaos but chorus, a mutual resonance between individuals and the universal song beneath the soil. Watch a river flow. Place your attention not on the surface ripples but on the current itself, slow but steady. The same water may never pass again, yet the river remains. Even when drought reduces its waters, even when floods broaden its banks, it remembers its path and returns. The hum gives it continuity. Without steady renewal of cycles from below, the river would dry forever, its bed empty stone. But because of the hum, rains fall, ice melts, seasons shift, and waters return. The river flows across centuries. Children step into waters that are different from those their ancestors once touched, yet both belong to the same rhythm, guided by the hum of the planet. Lift now into the air, drifting with the wind. The wind is not constant, it changes course, speed, and shape in every moment. Yet weather patterns follow hidden cycles, the shifting of high and low pressure, the patterns of ocean currents, the circulation between equator and pole. Even hurricanes, with their furious power, follow shapes as if drawn by invisible geometry. These geometries exist because of the coherence beneath our feet. A planet without stability at its core would have no rhythm for its atmosphere, no consistency for its weather, no shelter for life. But Earth's hum ensures not just repetition of cycles, but diversity within order, endless variations of cloud, storm, rainfall, snow, yet all sustained within boundaries that protect survival. Zoom outward into space again. Floating above the Earth, you see the familiar marble of blue and white suspending itself in silence. But notice also the shimmering auroras at the poles, ribbons of color dancing in darkness. They are the most visible signature of the hum magnetic field, sculpting solar winds, transforming danger into beauty. What comes from the sun as a stream of chaotic radiation is transformed by the hum into light shows across the sky. Few phenomena illustrate more perfectly the essence of coherence, not resistance, not destruction, but transformation. The hum transforms chaos into harmony, fear into beauty, death into dance. Look upon the auroras and you see proof of the Earth's hidden song, singing even in the emptiness of space. Now fall back downward into humanity, and see how this hum reflects in our own lives. Every culture, across history, has spoken of balance, harmony, alignment. Some call it Tao, some call it Dharma, others call it spirit or flow. Though words differ, the intuition is the same. Survival depends not solely on effort but on rhythm. A person out of rhythm falls ill, a society out of rhythm collapses, an environment out of rhythm decays. But with rhythm, all becomes sustainable. The hum of Earth is perhaps the deepest echo of this truth, a reminder written into the foundation of the planet, showing that persistence comes from coherence, not from speed or power. Sleep itself is perhaps our clearest reminder. Every night, whether we wish it or not, our bodies and minds return to cycles that cannot be avoided. We are humbled into rest, into the surrender of the waking ego. The hum demands our alignment. When we ignore it, health falters, clarity vanishes, spirit declines. But when we follow it, letting body and mind fall into its order, restoration comes. We awaken renewed because the hum aligned our inner chaos again. Sleep is not weakness but participation in the deepest strength imaginable, the endurance of rhythm. Each dream, each hour of rest, is a collaboration with the hum beneath. So let us imagine deeper now, not only Earth, not only biosphere, but cosmos itself. Perhaps every star is itself a hum, every galaxy a resonance, every black hole an octave in a grand universal chord. Perhaps we live not in emptiness but inside a cosmic instrument, strings stretched across light years, each plucking itself into soundless music. If so, then Earth's hum is one note among trillions, small but necessary, woven into the orchestra. Each dream you have, each thought that drifts across your mind, is like a harmonic trembling upon that note. You are audible to the universe, not as noise but as resonance, aligning with all that is. Even in your smallest breath you are part of a song larger than galaxies. This vision calms not only the restless mind but the worried heart. For so many struggles of life arise from fear of separateness, fear of being alone, fear of being fragile, fear of being insignificant. But when you listen deeply to the hum of the Earth, you find connection, endurance, and significance beyond measure. You are not separate because you are an expression of the hum. You are not fragile because the hum sustains all fragility into endurance. You are not insignificant because within the cosmic song, every note is essential, no matter how small. Realizing this, anxiety loosens like knots untied, worries dissolve into vastness, rest becomes not escape but homecoming. Now breathe slowly, and think of how your breath resembles waves. Inhale, exhale. Tides move inward, tides move outward. The hum beneath sends energy upward, energy outward, energy inward again. Your breath is a tide, Earth's oceans are tides, the heartbeat of the Earth is a tide, the flow of galaxies is a tide. All repeating, all aligned. Rhythm within rhythm, pulse within pulse. With each breath you take, you are harmonizing with millions of years of coherence. You are joining the cycle anew. Allow imagery to wash through you now in slow succession. Imagine the sun rising over forests, dew catching light like jewels strung upon grass. Imagine rivers shining silver in moonlight, carrying waters silently to seas. Imagine mountains glowing red with fire beneath, yet cloaked in snow upon their peaks. Imagine animals sleeping in burrows, nests, caves, and trees, rocking gently to rhythms beyond awareness. Imagine the stars arced across the sky, galaxies turning, blackness stretching like a canvas of infinity. In all of these, the hum is present, invisibly binding, silently persistent. It cradles each scene gently, not asking thanks, not requiring recognition, simply existing because it must. Rest upon this thought now. Let it rock you as the hum rocks oceans, as winds rock trees, as gravity rocks the moon around the earth. The hum is cradle, anchor, song, pulse. It is eternal within temporary. It is silence that sustains sound. It is mystery that sustains meaning. When you fall asleep, remember it is not only your body surrendering but your spirit aligning with that eternal rhythm. You are falling not into emptiness but into coherence, not into isolation but into harmony. You are being carried by the hum that has never stopped, that will never stop, that will outlast all memory yet preserve all resonance. And so you may let go. Let go, not as an act of defeat but as participation in the deepest order. Let go because you are already held. Let go because you were never separate. Let go because behind every surface, every distraction, every fear, the hum continues, waiting for you like a bed of eternity. In letting go you do not lose yourself. You find yourself more deeply, because you awaken as one note resonating forever within the Earth's hidden quantum song. The hum continues, deeper than thought, older than memory, softer than silence yet stronger than any storm. As we follow its echo step by step, we begin to see how all things above the surface imitate it, how rivers, winds, dreams, and lives all mirror this same principle. That which endures does so not by force, but by alignment. That which survives does so not by battle, but by resonance. The hum teaches not through language but through presence, through the sheer fact of its existence. It has endured while stars have burst into flame and died out, while comets have passed and vanished, while species have risen and fallen. Its message is steady. Continuity comes not from resistance, but from harmony. Picture again the earth from far above, hanging as a jewel in the blackness. Imagine looking closer, feeling how every pattern you see, the shifting clouds, the stirring seas, the drift of continents emerges from the pulse beneath. From that vantage you realize there are no true boundaries. The hum of the earth is part of the hum of the universe. The sun hums in nuclear fusion, the galaxy hums in spiral rotation, space itself hums with expansion. Earth's heartbeat is part of endless heartbeats, one note resonating within infinite chords. All of reality is music, and we are instruments resting within it. Bring your vision down to the surface again, but this time see humanity itself moving like waves upon the planet. Cities glow, roads trace across land, ships cross oceans, planes carve the air. Yet all this motion is still bound, still held within the great quiet hum. Every invention, every light, every sound of human hands remains a temporary note upon the eternal foundation. Civilizations desire permanence, yet their permanence depends on a pulse not of their making, a pulse they cannot alter. We build for the future, but the true structure of the future has always been beneath us. Even when our cities fall silent, the hum will continue. Even when language changes 1,000 times, the hum will continue. Even when faces fade from memory, the hum will continue, until all new faces are born into its rhythm once more. Think again of the ocean. At night, when the moonlight spreads silver across waters, when waves crash in ceaseless rhythm upon the shore, the ocean seems to breathe. The whole planet seems to breathe with it. The tide rises, pauses, retreats, returns. Each motion feels ancient because it is ancient, an echo of the earliest dances between Earth, Moon, and Sunday. Imagine standing barefoot at the edge of the sea, feeling the pull of tide rush against your skin, realizing at that moment that you are part of a rhythm impossibly vast. What you feel in your body is a direct continuation of the hum beneath your feet, pulsing outward through ocean, sky, and stars. All rhythms are one. Now wander upward once more into the forest. Rest your eyes upon shafts of sunlight descending between branches. Notice how light itself seems slowed and softened in such a place. The air is rich with unseen voices, buzzing insects, the whisper of leaves. In stillness, one begins to feel carried, as though the entire forest sways not only in wind but in resonance. Every leaf captures sunlight, turning light into life through processes both delicate and precise, processes that depend upon balance of temperature, balance of air, balance of soil. Every part of that balance reaches back to the hum. As roots absorb their nourishment, as sunlight feeds the crown, as bark thickens year to year, the tree becomes another manifestation of the planet's song. To walk in a forest is to walk in an extension of the cosmic heartbeat. Carry this realization into the desert, where at first it seems the hum is absent. Sand stretches endlessly, rocks blister under heat, life hides or clings fragilely to corners of shade. Yet here, too, the hum is alive. Wind draws patterns across dunes, stars blaze unbroken across the night sky, small creatures step silently under moonlight. The desert is not empty. It is vast, open resonance, stripped of excess sound so one might hear the silence beneath the silence that reveals the hum itself. In truth, silence is never empty. Silence is the language of resonance. Silence allows listening. In deserts, one feels the strength of the hum as emptiness transformed into presence. Think of glacier next, those old rivers of ice flowing slowly across ages. Their blue and white silence has carved valleys, polished stone, and shaped continents. They move so slowly that to human eyes they may as well be still, yet in them, the pulse is written. They exist because the planet's warmth and coolness balance within delicate harmony. They retreat or advance depending on shifts in rhythm, yet always they remain part of the hum. Each crack that echoes within glacial ice is like the voice of the earth reminding us, I am alive, I am moving, I am resonating beneath you. Now turn inward, toward human beings. Think of how the body functions in cycles, the beat of the heart, the rise and fall of breath, the regularity of sleep and waking, the rhythms of hunger and thirst, even the repetition of thought. We live not in straight lines but in patterns. Inside us, microscopic activity unfolds seamlessly, electrons join, proteins fold, cells divide. We live each second upon coherence. If coherence disappears, so does life. So where does our coherence come from? Perhaps partly from within, but perhaps also from without, from alignment with the hum of the planet beneath us. Human life may be but a mirror, a fragment echoing the resonance of the Earth's hidden song. There is comfort in this thought. To belong to rhythm is to never truly be alone. The fear of isolation dissolves when we realize we are context, not separation. Just as one note never exists alone but only within the chord, so too we exist within the greater hum. When we feel disconnected, it is not that we are abandoned, only that we have forgotten the sound beneath. To remember it is to reconnect. This is why stillness heals, why silence restores, why nature rebalances us, because in stillness, silence, and nature we hear again what has never left us. Imagine yourself now drifting along a river into night. The stars unfold above you, mirrored in black waters stretching beyond sight. The current carries you steadily, but beneath the water, deeper currents move unseen. Below even those currents lies Earth itself, humming endlessly in silence. You are carried not only by river, not only by mind, not only by dream. You are carried by a planet humming beneath you, always aligned, always steady. Each movement of the canoe, each ripple pushing outward, each reflection upon the surface is part of the same coherence. Everything is resonance. Everything is song. Let yourself float further into sky. Imagine drifting beyond clouds until atmosphere thins, and the curve of Earth spreads in blue below. You see storms spinning slow, auroras shimmering bright, oceans glinting under sunlight, mountains cutting shadows across continents. Yet what you cannot see is the truest presence of all. The hum beneath still pulses, invisible but total, sustaining every cloud, every storm, every ocean wave. Looking now from above, you realize all boundaries are illusions. Nations, borders, roads all vanish under the truth that what unites is deeper, wider, older. The hum is beyond division. It is beyond difference. It is one song, one silence, one eternal rhythm. As your body rests tonight, as sleep folds around you, you join in this rhythm. Your dreams scatter and reform, your thoughts flicker and fade, your body repairs and renews. Yet all occurs within the hum. And while you sleep, remember, the hum does not rest. It does not need to, because it is rest itself. Because of this, your sleep is safe. Because of this, your dreams are carried. Because of this, you will wake renewed. In surrendering to the hum, you are entrusting yourself not to chance, but to eternity. And eternity does not fail. Let go, then. Let the words fade. Let the thoughts slow. Feel in your bones the resonance of the earth beneath you. You are sustained. You are carried. You are resonating with the hum that has never stopped and will never stop. Waves repeat, forests breathe, skies extend. Winds shift, rivers flow, mountains rise and fall. Through all of this the hum continues. Through all of this you are safe. Through all of this you belong. And as you fall deeply into dream, remember what has always been true, you are part of the infinite rhythm. You are part of the planet's heartbeat. You are part of the universe's silent song. All is resonance. All is music. All is hum. As the journey with the Earth's hidden heartbeat draws to its quiet close, allow yourself to settle fully into the immensity of what you have wandered through. From deepest core to highest star, from the invisible quantum pulse beneath your feet to the shimmering light that drapes the night sky, you have traveled along the threads of an ancient song, a lullaby written in the language of rhythm and resonance. What began as a thought, as a curious imagining, has unfolded into a spacious silence filled with meaning, a presence that rests always beneath and beyond the surface. Breathe slowly now, allowing the breath to fall into a natural cadence, each inhale drawing quiet, each exhale releasing tension. The breath is your anchor. The Earth's pulse is your guide. The cosmos is your cradle. They are one. You are one. Let all the boundaries of worry, concern, and distraction drift away like autumn leaves on a river's surface. There is nothing you need to hold on to right now except this moment, this breath, this gentle resonance. The earth hums beneath you still, deeper than sound, calmer than silence, steadfast as the stars that wheel overhead. The quantum heart beneath the soil beats patient and eternal, neither rushing nor pausing, a pulse that enfolds every living thing, every thought, every dream. You are part of its rhythm. You are carried in its current, as surely as every mountain stands, every ocean waves, every forest breathes. Within you beat echoes of that same pulse, slow, steady, unbroken. Imagine yourself as a note in a vast symphonic chord, delicate yet essential. Your life, your breath, your dream tonight are woven into this great composition, where nothing is separate and nothing is lost. If chaos seems to rise, remember the hum beneath, steady and true. If fear or doubt arise, remember the deep silence holding them gently, like the sheltering night. You are not alone. No one is. All beneath us and beyond is one quiet song. Now let your thoughts turn like waves upon a shore, gently rising and falling with no urgency. Think of waves flowing endlessly, always the same, always renewed, forever shaping and reshaping, yet never losing the pulse that carries them. Think of the sky, vast and open, stretching beyond sight, holding light, cloud, wind, and mystery within its embrace. Think of trees standing tall, grounded as you are, breathing with deep roots that reach into the hum. Think of night, soft and dark, welcoming you into rest. Let these thoughts move softly, like feathers drifting down, never grasped, only felt. The rhythm you feel in your own body, heart beating, breath flowing, matches the rhythm beneath your feet and the rhythm of the stars above. It is the fundamental rhythm of existence. It is the song we have carried since before memory, since before time itself seemed to stretch. It is the silent current beneath the noise of life, and the stillness beneath the rush of day. It is the essence you return to with every closing eye, every soft surrender of consciousness into sleep. Hold this peaceful thought as your body softens, as your eyelids grow heavy, as your mind quiets. There is no need to push, no need to awaken, no need to hold on. You are safely cradled in the hum, wrapped in the song of the earth and the cosmos. Any remnants of tension or worry fall away now, dissolving into the vastness. You rest deeply and completely, moving slowly down into the limitless quiet where all things merge and all things align. This is the place where quantum pulses turn into gentle waves, where time folds back upon itself, where the hum becomes infinite breathing, a cycle without end. You drift not into darkness but into soft luminous calm. You drift not into absence but into vast presence. The planet carries you with patience older than stars. The universe holds you with tenderness wider than galaxies. You are part of the eternal resonance beyond space, beyond time. If the mind wanders, gently return it to this pulse, this breath, this moment. No need to chase thoughts or analyze feelings. Simply watch them pass like clouds across the sky, soft and slow, part of unfolding scenery. The hum beneath remains steady, a steady anchor for the drifting mind, a steady light in the night. And as you surrender, rest deeper and deeper within that steady glow. Let the waves of breath carry you more deeply into rest, in and out, in and out. Let the earth's pulse synchronize with the pulse within you, is steady, slow, calm. Let the stars above wink softly as you settle further into peaceful sleep. You are safe. You are loved. You are carried. Before the final depths draw you completely away, take a moment to honor this shared journey, this moment of wonder and reflection. Though today's story will fade from waking thought, its essence remains a quiet invitation to return at any time, to remember, to realign, to rest in the hum once more. May this story accompany you softly, like gentle footsteps on a path through mossy woods, guiding you to rest and peace whenever needed. And now, dear listener, as you drift ever farther into quiet dreams, allow me to offer my deepest gratitude for sharing this journey through the heartbeat of our world. It has been my honor to walk beside you, to breathe with you, and to listen with you to the silent song beneath everything. May the hum carry you through serene nights and bright dawns, and may you always find comfort in the eternal rhythm beneath your feet. Thank you for your presence, your openness, your trust. May peace fill your spirit. May calm embrace your heart. And may the gentle pulse of earth and cosmos sing you softly into rest, now and always. Good night. Sleep well. You are safe. You are home.